Good evening, everyone. Tonight I would like to discuss a very serious topic, the importance of abstinence. Now please bear with me, I've been slightly under the weather over the weekend. My wife, she has bronchitis, started with a cold, like a whooping cough. She went to the doctor, she got a bunch of bottles of a bunch of shit. I don't get sick often because I have superhuman genes and a super powerful immune system, so I just got a sore throat and now I'm kind of draining, so bear with me please. As a Caucasian male, father, Christian, this topic has driven me to a very enlightening epiphany this evening, and I guess we should just elaborate on that. The idea of abstinence is to avoid sex basically at all costs until you are married. So even if the person that you choose to marry and you have been engaged to and committed to the idea that you're going to marry, you still have to wait until your actual wedding day to have sex. That's under predominantly Christian standards, but also Catholicism and other religions. I'm sure I'm not highly educated on a lot of those things, but I know that within standard Christianity, that is what is projected as what you should do. Of course, none of us stuck to this. I mean, there probably are some people. I don't fucking know them. That's for sure. It's probably one of the most difficult tasks the Bible or God has put on any of us at all. But I'm going to address the male side of this. Okay, so women, and as a father to a daughter, women have their reasons for it. Men have their reasons for it. But here's the epiphany I came to tonight. Now, I'm going to speak as God would be speaking, but I intend no blasphemy or sacrilegion whatsoever. I just can't think of a better way to put it out. So I don't think that when the Bible suggests abstinence, it's necessarily a sin. Now, I understand adultery is put out there as a sin, and adultery is considered the idea of having sex with anybody outside of your wife. So, period. It actually is defined as even so much as having a sexual thought about another person other than your wife. Well, that's fucking impossible, all right? I don't know if you've driven down I-45 lately, but there are billboards, and they produce sexual thoughts. I don't know, Chick-fil-A. I get a boner when I think about those chicken nuggets. It's just me, but something about those cows. Anyhow, I don't think that maybe God intended it as a sin per se. Now, adultery and the idea of bailing on your loyalty to your spouse, that, yes, that's a sin. That's just immoral across the board. It means that your loyalty was trash in the first place and that your commitment was trash. So that's different. And the idea of not having sex with anybody else prior to that, I don't know. That's next level impossible. I mean, you have to really suffer through some shit in life to even be capable of having those kind of commitments, unless you're just brainwashed in a fucking cult growing up. So, I think that God intended it for men slightly different, and I think it was more of like a warning. A warning for your future, because you didn't know what that sex was gonna do. You're just like, this feels fucking great. Like, look at this thing, it is, I wanna use it, and I wanna use it with a person. And until then, so I think, like I said, speaking as God, he was more or less trying to say, hey bro, but as a father, but listen here bro, I understand that you want to use that magical penis that I gave you. I understand that you love it. You literally value it more than anything else in your entire world. And it is going to control you. But I promise you, waiting is better. And you're like, but why? In your mind. And he's like, listen here, son, bro. There will be consequences, I promise. Now, you and your youth, you will find pride in your dick-slaying abilities. You will have ranking systems with your male peers. It will seem like it's just this great idea, and you're like, that girl's hot, and I should definitely do that. There's not any consequence. I'm not dating anybody. It doesn't matter. You know, what's the worst? Well, let me assure you, son, bro, there are consequences, okay? So, say you're 25 years old and your friends, they label you as things such as a ladies' man, maybe even a cocksmith of sorts. And you're just dancing around at your local nightclub, you know, and you're just busting a few moves. You're just talking to the ladies, and they're feeling it. They're feeling it. You had no idea at that point that in 11 years, you might meet your wife. Because it didn't matter at that moment. At that moment, what mattered was your boner. So, your cocksmithing tools led you to have an evening with this woman. Now, I know you're thinking consequences. There could be unwanted pregnancy, child support, all those things. I promise you, those are concerns. However, there are worse things. Now you're thinking, oh no, what could this be? Are we talking about STDs, HPV, gonorrhea, syphilis, herpes? What could it be? Who knows? No, son. No, son. There are much worse things. You see, because even though your reputation had you as a cocksmith, such as the late, great John Holmes, even Ron Jeremy or Johnny Sins, once you have your wife, that reputation needs to be put far, far behind you. Far behind you. Locked in a fucking vault. I'm serious. Because one day you and your wife will be having a nice dinner. A nice dinner. It probably costs a lot of money. You never know. But she will drink some of God's juice. The wine, you know. Maybe she has a couple of glasses. Not too much. An honorary amount, you know. Honorable amount, excuse me. Or maybe she even tried to be a little cultural, went with a fine Russian spirit, like Tito's. Or maybe she was feeling a little cultural and decided to go with a fine tequila from the land of Mexico, like Jose Cuervo. Either way, gets her mind ticking. She starts thinking. She's like, you're an asshole. You have done nothing. You've bought dinner. You've bought drinks. You've treated her well all day. You have given her compliments. You left nice little notes around the house. You made sure that you are the best husband ever. But in that moment, God was like, hey, social media is a curse. And it will come and it will haunt you. It is the devil's communication. And she will see these women from afar that she's never met in person. She has no idea that they exist other than the fact that once in a while they like your shit. Because you're a fun guy. And maybe you do some interesting shit. You know, maybe you're proud of your biceps. Maybe you have nice nipples. Who knows? It could be all kinds of things. But hey, those are her biceps and those are her nipples. They're hers. And that's totally cool because that's what you committed to. However, she's going to see these women while she's drinking a little bit of that juice. And she's going to be like, hey babe, who is this girl? You're like, oh, that's just a customer. Oh, hey, that's just a friend. Some lady from the gym. It is what it is. You know, she's like, okay, all right, yeah. There will be a couple of other totally useless questions somewhere in the middle of that. Like just a little bit like, oh, that's cool. Oh, you know, what kind of car did she drive? I see pictures. You know, like, oh, well, I don't know, you know, an Audi or a Range Rover, an Escalade. Who knows? Who knows? It doesn't really matter. There will be useless questions to build to the ultimate question, and that is, did you have sexual relations with this woman? At which point, God looks at you and he goes, you married her under my eyes, and you have to tell her the truth. So you're conscious in the idea that you don't want to deal with fabricating a lie and then defending a lie and then building upon a lie later on. You tell her the truth. Now let me tell you, there is no win-win to this situation, right? This is a lose-lose situation. There is no win-lose. This is ultimate loss, no matter how you answer. However, you're better off with the truth on the front side, because later on, a lie will haunt you. But the truth is, later on, truth will haunt you too. So it really depends on how you want the night to go, but you should go with the truth. Anyhow, you married this woman under God's eyes, so you tell her the truth, and you're like, yeah, I did. You know, it was before you. It was before you. But I did. It was one time. It happened, you know. And she's like, how long before me? I don't know. I wasn't really counting, but I don't know, probably a couple months, maybe. You know, well, that one, that was 2 years. You know, that one, that was in fucking high school. You know, I don't know. That's not important. It doesn't matter. The point is the fact that she will know that you had sex with somebody else, anybody else, at some point before you met her. And that in itself is the reason to ruin the entire fucking day. That is worse than herpes. It really is. Because she will ruin your fucking day. She has the ability to ruin your fucking life. So then it'll turn into, it gets worse. It gets deeper and deeper and deeper. It'll be like, well, she had a face. Is that what you're into? Is that what it is? Because that girl has a face. Do you want to fuck her too? Baby, you have a face, and you have the most beautiful face, the most perfect face, and it's the only face I want to fuck. I promise, I only want to fuck your face. And it's not good enough. It doesn't matter. There is no coming back from this. The night is ruined. There is no savior to this point. I know that I'm your savior, son. I know. But I can't save you here. Because there's nothing worse than the devil. Nothing other than a woman's scorn. Don't fuck anybody before your wife.